The Emerald Mountains rise like shattered green glass, forming a physical boundary between our world and the celestial heights. These peaks are the domain of the Peris. They are entities born of living fire and pressurized air, watching over the mountain passes in absolute silence. They exist as beings of absolute purity, their forms shimmering like auroras against the thin, high-altitude atmosphere. This purity is governed by a law written before the stars cooled. It is a mandate of total non-interference, forbidding the Peris from ever touching the mortal world below. Their immortality depends on this distance. To remain celestial, they must remain passive observers of everything that happens beneath the clouds. Below the roots of these mountains, the deep rock is beginning to fracture. The Deves are stirring. These are ancient architects of ruin, shadow dwellers whose corrupted heat is currently rising through the abyss. This mapping of the subterranean movement reveals a specific window for their arrival. The trajectory puts the surface breach at March 2026. The heavens have already issued their response to this threat. They have reinforced the law of non-interference, ordering the Peris to stand by and watch as the world burns. If the Peris obey the divine law, they remain immortal, and the human world ceases to exist. Ultimately, the Peri queens choose the earth. They reject the celestial decree and begin the process of anchoring their spirits to the mountain stone. At midnight, the queens begin their descent. They leave the frictionless celestial void and enter the biting, thin air of the highest peaks. To protect the world, they must manifest within it. Their fiery essence is compressed into a solid, agonizing form, turning living light into vulnerable flesh. The transformation brings the immediate shock of physical sensation. For the first time, these beings feel the bite of the extreme cold and the sharpness of pain. To stop the darkness rising from the abyss, these entities of pure light must willingly break their own flawless architecture. The ritual takes place on the jagged stone altars at the very summit, where the wind is most violent. The queens draw celestial daggers. In a single, fluid motion, they slice their own wrists. They do not bleed crimson. Instead, pure, blinding celestial light pours out, falling onto the frozen rock below. As liquid light permeates the stone, it alters the rock into a wholly impenetrable barrier deep underground. When the Deves smash against this new layer of light, the energy disperses. The shadow dwellers are trapped, unable to breach the radioactive blockade. The world remains intact. Below the mountains, the war is over before most humans even knew it had begun. The cost of this protection is immediate. The heavens look down upon the bleeding queens and turn away. The gates to the celestial realm are closed. Because they chose to interfere with the mortal world, the Peris are barred from their home forever. They are now trapped in the freezing winds of the Emerald Peaks. Their immortality is fractured, and their light grows dimmer with every passing year. These mountains are the physical scars of that sacrifice. They stand as a permanent reminder of the entities who gave up their place in the stars to hold the line. If you listen to the mountain wind today, it no longer sounds like a simple breeze. It sounds like weeping. The Peris surrendered their own divinity so that the earth could remain. They are the light that stayed in the dark, and they paid for our survival with everything they were.